Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the Nerd Paradise podcast. We kind of forgot to do our intro like usual. We were kind of very excited about the Brent Floss interview. So here we go, with your hosts, the suntan Superman, Marky B.
Your concerned citizen, Harvey.
And your spawn of hell, Matthew.
So, that was a really good interview, guys. It was very relaxed, very one-to-one. Well, 1-3, but you get my point.
Well, we kind of stopped that train of thought earlier in the interview when Harvey went off on a tangent.
Yeah.
Again, I'd like to apologize to Brent. Sorry about the whole issue before what we talked about off air.
We shall put that in our little blooper reel about the interview, so enjoy that when it comes out.
Not to mention our default name for our Gmail account that we initially contacted him with before I fixed that.
Which still technically isn't fixed in certain spots.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. We're using it for other purposes.
For those wondering, the account's name...
Set up by Marky B.
Yeah. He put his Dude Love.
Which sounds innocent enough, but when you combine it with other things, it takes on a different meaning.
Doesn't help that it's 3 guys.
Mm-hmm. We've yet to recruit a female to help us with this.
Yes, people wonder why Mark might be single.
Hey, this is own. Anyways, we're going to go off to our normal.
Back to reality here.
Yeah, our normal... everyday cast, like usual.
Yes.
Start off with the news.
Yep.
Typewriter noises that make a sound for intro music for a new show.
Alright, so we shall start with Mark's little news segment.
Well, for one, if anyone who's been not in touch with the whole movie scene lately, there is going to be another G.I. Joe movie coming out. G.I. Joe 2. I forget the continuation of the name.
Really, they could have done anything with it as far as they've strayed from the G.I. Joe franchise. It could have been G.I. Joe in space. It could have been G.I. Joe in Afghanistan. It could have been G.I. Joe gets a pedicure.
As I will be calling it, G.I. Joe. Oh god, not another Michael Bay copycat.
So... If you haven't known yet about the cast, they're not really going to bring back the whole cast from before. So you're not going to see a Damon brother coming out soon.
Yeah, no. Their theory for the makers of the first G.I. Joe movie is that, the reason why we bombed? It wasn't because our movie just plainly sucked. We didn't have enough big names in it. So here.
Shorty wasn't a big enough name?
So here, have The Rock. Right? Here, have...
Bruce Willis.
There we go, I was blanking on the name.
Don't forget Bruce Willis.
Shut up.
What confuses me with the G.I. Joe movie's concept is that they get these special super suits that let them do all this
The super
crazy
suits are
shit.
gone.
Okay, well that's good. But from before, it strikes me if they're gonna do that, why not just make some kind of freaking Gundam movie?
Yeah.
But have it a smaller scale, so obviously they're not big space giant robots. Have it be like personal suit stuff going on.
Or actually make a Gundam movie. That would be kind of cool too.
Yes, that definitely would be awesome.
I would not mind seeing a live action version of Endless Waltz.
Oh yeah, like I think Wing would be an awesome one to start with. Mind you, I've only ever seen much of Wing in terms of the different series in Gundam. I've seen some of the Seed, and I wasn't impressed with that as much.
Honestly, to the average Gundam fan, a lot of them are going to say that Wing is the best, and
Yeah.
you can see why. I mean,
I like Duo too.
Duo was awesome. Hero was just steely badass for the sake of being steely badass. Hey, look at me. I don't have emotions. Pow! Look at my tank top. Isn't it awesome?
he was just 2 notes short of being emo.
Mm.
But yeah, back to the G.I. Joe movie.
Must we?
Well, I'm okay with The Rock. He's done okay. He hasn't done really great mainstream movies. Toothpick! But...
Be cool.
Well, that's because Rock brought his own little flamboyancy into the whole gay character.
Yes, the thing is, it's a comedy movie, and so he's not taking himself all seriously. So that definitely played to his strength, because when he does that sort of movie, then it's a whole lot better. Because then he's obviously the whole theatric thing with being a wrestler in the first place, then, you know, it plays to his strength.
Yeah, because the thing is, in the wrestling business is, before you get your good character going, you always have your crap character, and Rock's always been through that, so he's already used to it when he went into the whole acting thing. Just he had a lot of bad, very horrible characters in the movie business.
Yeah, I think when you're going from one form of media to the other, then you kind of have to take the shit first before you earn your place higher up.
That's the thing. He knows about taking the shit. He's always taken the shit. It's how you take the chicken shit and make it into chicken salad.
Ooh. Let's make sure this is a reference that is not at all reflection of our culinary work. This has nothing to do with actual food. It is very apt, but completely unrelated.
Now, the whole thing about the whole G.I. Joe stuff, I don't know how it's going to go. Like, I haven't read much into the whole plot line of what they want. But so far, the Rocks are being called as Roadblock, which, for those who have been G.I. Joe fans, you know Roadblock is the whole big, burly black guy that is very tough-looking. Then there's Bruce Willis, who will be a Joe, an actual Joe. I just don't know what kind of Joe yet.
Okay.
Though,
I don't know Joe.
So it's not Channing Tatum anymore, it's Bruce Willis. Though I am kind of disappointed that Shorty will not come back and be Ripcord, but...
Okay. Well, I don't know. I think they could do a lot of fun things with the whole G.I. Joe franchise because there were so many outlandish characters that were there.
Well, you had what was the guy? Rat something. Mole Rat or something like that. Tunnel Rat.
Okay.
Tunnel Rat. You had Tunnel Rat, who was like the little weaselly kind of character, but he was a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had, for one, if you saw any of the old school stuff, Sergeant Slaughter, who would like come in and say like stuff like, "Oh, you maggot, I'll show you," and you know the whole pencil neck geek stuff. It was very outlandish, really it was. And I kind of want to see some of those characters in the G.I. Joe franchise.
Yeah, it could be really fun to have it not be all serious business. Look at these action shots, look at these stunts, look at these effects, and have there be some actual comedic substance to it. That's
why I thought with the whole Wayans brother coming in, I thought maybe this will have a little bit. He'll bring in a bit of comedy, which he kind of did, but not to the extent I wanted.
Mm-hmm. It was a little bit lacking, I suppose.
Yeah.
It was there as a little bit of a flavor, but it didn't feature that much.
No. So, the next one that's coming in, hopefully he will return, Mr. Producer Man will return soon.
We're having a bit of a temporary lack of evil.
Well, while he's out, another sponsor?
Well, I would once again like to talk to our audience about Yonge Street. It's a wonderful place where within the same 15 steps you can go to a strip club, and on either side you can find a Belgian waffle place and a porno theater. I mean, really, when you're adventuring downtown, what more do you need?
Well, yeah. I mean, get your little lap dance, get a little porno, just so you can bring it home.
Get your lap dance with syrup on top.
Yeah.
Please don't ice the dancers.
Aww. So, I guess we'll go on a bit while we wait. You had some stuff, didn't you? Before I go on to my next one.
Well, I can't confirm an official date, but coming sometime, I believe in May, the MMO Rift I occasionally talk about, they're having their 1.8 patch, which is another one of their big releases. It's adding a whole new endgame dungeon. It's a huge instance with like 3 big boss battles. It goes through 3 wings, where you're actually fighting the dragons that are the driving forces in the game. Like they're the ones that control the fire rift and the life rift, and they send all the invaders and the hordes and stuff. And so you're actually going in and you're fighting Maelforge, and I can't remember the other ones' names. But along with this release, they're also coming out with a sort of cooperative instanced battle mode, where instead of the 2 factions fighting against each other, they can actually party together to fight waves of enemies and to go through and defend villages and things like that. Another thing that they have done, it's not something coming out in the new patch. I like to mention that it's a little revolutionary. It's a mercenary system in their PvP. So you won't get the long queue waits to have enough balance of either side to be playing to start a match, start an instance scenario. You have someone of the other faction temporarily join your side to fight for you, so that it's all balanced and everyone can get playing. And that way, if you do have other friends that play the other faction, you could play with them for a little while if you happen to get the same war friend. So that's really cool. Yeah, so check out the 1.8 patch coming out soon for Rift.
Nice.
Should be exciting.
And Matt, any news from you for a while?
Well, yeah. Well, the big thing now that will piss people right off.
Oh, jeez.
Is Star Wars Connect. Oh, God, where to start?
It really doesn't help you connect to the Force very well.
No.
Bad, Harvey. Bad. No more puns.
I can't promise
that. You've already attacked Brent with that earlier.
I thought I was pretty fair. He was gentle, and so was I.
Oh, God. All right. Anyways,
back to your little rant, Matt. Go on.
Yeah. So Star Wars Connect. In short, it sucks. In long, it's completely unplayable for the parts that you want to play, and the parts that you really don't want to play seem to work absolutely freaking fabulously.
Mm-hmm. The parts that are unfortunately single player entirely.
The whole game really just blows. Okay, for instance, lightsaber combat. It sucks.
Oh, I kind of figured, like, when you showed me, when we were looking at through the whole of that. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
The Kinect just cannot read the motions that he tried to program into the game.
Yeah, and considering that you're getting a motion sensor game that's Star Wars, the first thing people are going to be asking for, the first thing, exactly, that's all it's going to come to people's minds.
The Wii does it a lot better. The Wii does swordplay a lot better because it actually can track the movements.
Yeah, because you have something physical you're holding on to and not a camera that's supposed to be programmed to recognize all this stuff, when some of it is evidently very wonky.
Yeah. Well, a good example that everyone points out for this game is the difference between simply slashing your lightsaber and going into laser deflecting mode. There's not enough. Because the laser deflecting mode you do in a figure 8 pattern with you swinging your hand. And then just for slashing, you just slash. The Kinect doesn't have the technology to tell the difference very well between that. You could be slashing at one moment and then suddenly you're turning into the bullet deflecting mode.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the motion controls for moving around your character are shit. They can't tell the difference between if you want to evade or if you want to do a flip.
Yeah. What do you do to move forward and move around freely anyway?
Apparently you move a bit. Like,
you lean forward to move forward, you lean back to move back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's not that great. That's what most Kinect games do when they try and be adventure or action. That's the default.
The
lean to move.
The most stupid thing I've seen, though, when I was looking through the gameplay of it, was the whole Rancor shit that was going on.
Which works, by the way.
It works, but like the whole fact that all you need to do is make simple movements, and
the Rancor does them.
Yeah, but what I was talking to you guys when we were watching the video, this mechanic and this style of gameplay would be perfect if they released a Rampage game that did the same thing.
I agree with you there. I mean, that would be perfect for Rampage. I mean, you just like go ape shit crazy and just destroy shit.
Yeah. Well, of course, if you could find a way to incorporate the climbing thing also.
I think they could do that. You'd probably have to do it with only using your hands going further up and further up. And then, even if you have to keep your hands up to do that while you're on the building to maintain your spot, it could track you headbutting to hit or to kick the building as you're going up.
Yeah.
And the whole idea of going in and like reaching and grabbing people and eating them for more energy. It's a little bit gruesome and would be more so with today's graphics, but they could do it in a cartoony way and it could be a lot of fun.
It could be, yeah, but again, it has to be done well.
Yes. Mind you, they'd also probably have to get the rights from, I think it's Sega that made the further Rampage games.
I think so.
Yeah.
Getting Sega to let go of something that they did well at some time might be really hard at this point.
Then you had, I believe it was the pod racing.
Which again works, except for the fact that it also asks you to do other movements during the racing. Like, to do the pod racing, all you have to do is stick your hands out, and each hand represents one of your pod racer's engines. So simple movements will turn the vehicle and control it and speed you up.
Yeah.
And the recognition on it is apparently really close.
The problem comes when it gets you to do the extra movements.
Yeah.
Which is when you have to wipe your face from water or fix your engine. All of which require you to move your hand, which registers in the system as you're trying to turn. You end up careening into a wall.
Now, see, why couldn't you just like have a voice command for that? If you have like,
or if it's in your, if it's like water in your face, why can't you just shake your head and shake it off?
Yeah. Or
well, it won't track that.
It won't track the whole sound of that.
I suppose no.
No, but yeah, there are so many other things they could have done for that, or just not have those stupid little things in it in the first place.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was RTD2 that was in it, that was helping out. No,
I don't think he has a helper in this pod race.
No.
What astounds me is this is probably a little semantic thing.
It goes to show you I didn't remember much of episode 1.
Who wants to?
So, to fix problems with your engine, to get stuff off of there, you throw a wrench at it. In my experience, the expression throwing a wrench in something means to fuck it up entirely.
Yeah.
So the fact that fixes it and wouldn't fix anything else in real life. Please don't try this. Don't try to throw a wrench at something to fix it. Please don't. If your uncle has a broken leg, stop what you're doing. So it's a strange choice of actions there, or a choice of what they use.
Even then,
other things that work in the game are space combat, which apparently works perfectly fine. What? Just what?
Anything that would have worked better when using a controller and wouldn't actually need motion sensor to pull off well works the best.
And the stuff we want the motion sensor to work with doesn't. And then, of course, there's the lightsaber duels, which are essentially turn-based combat where you block, then you struggle, and then you get 30 seconds or so to attack.
Mm-hmm. And you can't do this once with an enemy and kill them. You have to do it a bunch of times. And that's ridiculous. Because
even common enemies.
Yeah. So you're getting a whole bunch of slashes through on these people. Since when has a lightsaber not been able to pass through anything except another lightsaber?
Yeah.
What the hell are they doing guarding with this metal shit? If there's some kind of alloy they can use in their weapons now to deflect a fucking laser that's hot enough to cut through almost anything else.
A spaceship's hull, even.
Yeah, it fucking melted through the door. And the person's deflecting it with some stupid glaive. That's ridiculous. So I kind of have to rage at that.
Yeah. No, and then of course the part that everyone dreads, the dancing. Oh God, if you are a Star Wars fan, you are in for a freaking shock, especially when you see the Emperor dance.
Yeah, and the thing is, in order to get the Emperor to be your dancing character, you have to unlock shit. You can dance as Vader or as the Emperor, but you have to do really well in the other things at first. So it's not just the main thing. You have to earn this cruddy old man, this evil son of a bitch, to
bust a move with the main villain of both movies.
Yeah, fucking
not both, but both trilogies.
Now see, this is where Connect actually works, is because
it's a dance.
It's a game. It's a dance game. Yeah. What can you do?
It's tough to screw that up with Kinect because they've had success with that.
Yeah, and that is what I find Kinect should be used for: dancing stuff.
Yeah, it should be basically the peripheral, like what the mat was to DDR.
Yeah. I think that honestly they should have marketed it more as this is a Star Wars dancing game with these mini games. But if they had done that and they hadn't shown people or gotten their hopes up about the lightsaber mode and these other things, it wouldn't have sold.
Yeah, well, that's what they started with. When the Kinect first launched, and they were showing it off at, I think it was E3 that they first announced it. Might have just been a Microsoft thing. I'm not too sure. But one of the first things they showed was a Star Wars game in the making that was essentially an on-the-rails lightsaber thing. So all he did was stand in one place and deflect shots for a few minutes and move along.
Yeah.
Which, of course, was crappier than what we got now, but worked better. Yeah. Oh, God, it worked a lot better.
Yeah. I think it would have been smarter of them to have it be a Star Wars-flavored Let's Dance, or whatever those ones are called. Just Dance. Which it might not have sold that well, but it would have been honest, and people would have gone for it for being like weird and kooky.
And at least being honest, and at least going for like the tongue-in-cheek kind of factor with it.
Yeah. It's not taking itself seriously.
Yeah. Oh, and Star Wars fans, this is canon. Everything that you do in the gameplay sections of this is apparently canon to the movies.
Have fun with that.
Okay? Yeah, you understand what we mean by canon.
Now, I may not have been paying attention too much, but there's no way to play and to dance as Jar Jar Binks, is there?
No. Not that I've seen with any of the clips online.
Thank God.
This just in. George Lucas has just announced to have gone out of his house on his porch, just giving a whole big giant middle finger to the world. Again.
Well, that's how George Lucas starts his day, though.
Except when he lifts his middle finger, he goes...
Yeah. That's how George Lucas starts his day. Okay? He wakes up, goes on his computer, and relishes in the anguish of the fans.
He feeds on the misery, much like Emperor Palpatine.
Yes. Alright? George Lucas has gone from being a celebrated hero for bringing us Star Wars to someone we wish to stop from butchering Star Wars.
Arrogance leads to hate, and hate leads to fan suffering.
And fan suffering leads to the dark side.
It's funny
God, it's gonna happen for real.
He's gotten tangled up in his own mythos.
Yeah.
Congratulations, George.
We all hate you, buddy. Alright, the less you make with Star Wars, the better. Please stop.
George.
Please. Okay, you know it's bad when people prefer every single novel that was ever released about Star Wars than anything that you put out. And that including the ones that have Jar Jar as a main character.
There are books that do that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God, why?
Because apparently people wanted to write more about Jar Jar's story.
Did they make him any better?
No.
On the plus side, you don't have to hear his voice. You're just reading it.
Okay. Well, Misa not gonna go fucking crazy then. And the thing is too, like some of the Star Wars novels that they put out were really well written. And
yes,
they're really good for fleshing out some of the story that they don't touch upon in the movies.
Yeah, and then there's the ones that are the expanded universe, which deal with stuff that happened after the movies with the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're like with the novels around 40 to 50 years after the end of the last movie. And then there's comics that go almost 200 years after.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all well written, well done, and the people that are writing them are people that watched the original movies, became fans, became writers, and just wanted to do something for more fans and just impart their own mythos to it.
Yeah. And for the second trilogy, if you can refer to it as such, what they did with Star Wars The Clone Wars was also really good for fleshing out things that happened in between and expanding the universe a little better.
Yes.
And it was pretty well done.
If there was an audience for it.
Oh, there was actually a pretty good fan
Not
base.
enough. Not enough. It's still a George Lucas Star Wars rapage, though.
It is, but for what it is, I still enjoyed it fairly well.
There's still some really bad parts to it.
Mm-hmm. It's like anything he's, in the more recent years, gotten his hands on.
Yes, George Lucas has the Midas touch. Except for gold, it turns into shit.
Mm-hmm. He's got the brown touch.
Yeah.
So, also, other news. For those who are fans of Max Payne stuff, well, Android people, you have to wait for a while, but it's already out for iOS. Max Payne for iOS phones, as well as for Android, it will come out on April 26th, I believe.
Not bad. The Max Payne games are good.
Don't know how much
the movie blew, but the games are good.
I don't know how much they'll be selling for on the app stores, but we'll see.
I knew some people who liked the Max Payne movie.
I don't know enough people that know it. Really, it came really quietly and left really quietly in the theaters.
Also, back on the movie front, another remake coming up soon, which is RoboCop. I don't know how you guys feel about this one.
I think
Mixed feelings. It depends on who's on board with the project. I can already tell you right now, the Total Recall remake is going to suck.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure if I've mentioned this before, but let me repeat myself if I have. From all trailers, it looks like they've removed anything to do with Mars in the movie. They removed any of the memorable characters. And there's barely any establishment of the main character's backstory to it. It's just essentially a long, drawn-out action chase movie.
Well, maybe after the first week, though, as it's so bad, they'll recall it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am flipping off Harvey.
It's not. I haven't done my job unless I've gotten at least one bird flipped. The daggers are a good indication too.
But yeah, and for more obscure news, for anyone that's ever heard of it or is just coming from watching the Nostalgia Critic review, apparently the Star Wars ripoff movie Star Chaser is getting a live action remake. Are we that lost for ideas that we're remaking a Star Wars ripoff?
You should know by now. Hollywood doesn't care as long as they make money.
Mind you, it'll probably be better than the last trilogy.
Maybe. It might be better than the original movie. The original Star Chaser.
Well, chances are.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the last Star Wars trilogy.
Yes.
Which still blows.
I don't know. There are some parts of the movies that I enjoyed. There's some of it that's obviously...
I enjoyed every part that didn't feature Jar Jar or Anakin.
Yeah, and actually even Padme for me sometimes.
Yeah. They really should have pulled more of a Leia on it and had her wear skimpier things. At that very least, we would have had eye candy.
Yeah, but it is Natalie Portman.
Yeah, but still. Could have at least put her in some kind of slave girl outfit or something.
I suppose
fan service is fan service, all right. As long as it's not done with a 35-year-old hairy guy dressed up like that.
But what was Padme's age at the time?
For
the first movie.
In the first Episode movie, 1, she was 14.
16.
Either way,
Yeah,
either way,
16.
you want.
Yeah.
Twice the age of Anakin, who was 8.
Okay.
So either way,
It's a little. So she's in the danger zone.
Yeah.
I'm going with.
And then when he's 18, she was in...
She was 26.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
She sure as hell didn't look it.
Mm-hmm. But she's also like the queen and an ambassador, so they're probably not going to have her in like skimpy shit or a lot of reasons for her to be so. I understand princess.
Yeah,
I understand
thank you.
that.
I was going to just say.
Don't get me wrong, but considering she's representing the whole part of the Republic, there's a lot of shit going on. She has not just a body double, but a whole double for keeping herself safe to run shit from behind the scenes. Then she's not
And
gonna go
Princess
party.
Leia represented what? The Rebel Army.
Okay, but Padme was a lot more capable than Princess Leia and didn't get herself captured like that. Like that.
The hell are you talking about? Episode 2 got captured along with Anakin and Obi-Wan in the Colosseum.
That's different.
No, it's not. It's the same damn thing. The only difference was it wasn't a space station. Okay. Oh, never mind.
Wait, what space station? I'm talking about the Jabba thing.
Well, that wasn't really being a capture. That was part of a plan, though.
Okay. Well, then Padme wasn't a bargaining tool. She was just kind of a tool.
Okay, still. Either way, Leia's a more capable character, and a very well-written one as well.
Yes. And Carrie Fisher did really well in that role.
Except for the part where she kissed her brother.
Yeah.
You know, that's the one thing. You would think that Luke would have had more of a reaction to that when he was revealed.
Yeah.
It was kind of a lukewarm revelation.
Oh, jeez, Harvey. It's not. There's no off switch, is there? Like, check his back or something.
This is how I am, baby.
All right, so Mark, you looked like you were getting excited.
Well, I thought, and then I saw that it was actually a YouTube trailer.
What was it?
The Hey Arnold movie. I was like, oh, wow,
no.
cool.
I loved that trailer. I so wish that they would make an actual live action movie like that.
Yeah.
The people that did that were amazing.
But yeah, I think that's it for our news.
That's it for now. We shall be back soon. Just gonna take a little break. I hope you enjoyed this little segment and that it makes you feel no less happy than the Brentafloss segment. So
you always gotta bring it down every time we brought it up.
Alright, so have a good one, and we shall
see you
you in a few minutes. Enjoy!